Let's go out to Dallas, Texas, and talk to T-Money. Let's talk to Trent. What's up, Trent?
Hey, how are you?
Partying, man. What about you?
Man, I'm doing all right. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm a huge fan. It's an honor to get to talk to you right now.
I appreciate that, man. What's up?
Hey, so I've been struggling for a while, like probably like the last 3 years, like a lot of people. And I'm just wondering, how do you like reconcile mistakes that you've made in your past and like still find a way to, to feel fulfilled in life? I'm kind of in a place right now where I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to feel just peace.
What'd you do that's so bad that this many years later you can't breathe?
See, the issue is I have a lot of shame about feeling this way. So if you don't mind, I'll take you back to about 2020. It was 2020. And I'm sitting on the couch in my apartment with my wife, and I'm not happy. I'm depressed because of COVID and the quarantine, and it's all got us all shut down. And I'm sitting there thinking about, I don't know if this is the life that I want. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't know if I want to stay married. Those kind of things.
How long have you been married?
And my wife, 4 years now.
So you're about
Still
a year in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what people tell me.
No. You were about a year in when you started having this, like,
yeah.
What am I doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we keep going, I just want to socially norm. That's the nerd word. I want to let you know I had those exact same thoughts. In fact, I sat down with my wife and said, I don't think we've done the right thing. What do we do next? How do we untangle this? Because this is not going to work. And that was 21 years ago. Okay. So I want you to know you're not crazy. That's a super common sitting there next to somebody going, what have I done? Okay.
Right.
Okay. So keep going.
Yeah. And as I'm laying on the couch having those thoughts, and I'm not really showing it, but like inside I'm just full of turmoil.
You're showing it. And, it's all over the place, but go ahead.
No. I'm showing it. Okay. But anyway, she comes out of the bathroom and she goes, "Hey babe, I'm pregnant."
Heyo.
Yeah. Not planned. Definitely wasn't our idea to get pregnant in the middle of that whole mess that was going on. And I feel so bad because she had always wanted a kid. And you see those videos of wives when they tell their husbands that they're pregnant, and the husband just has this overflowing reaction of joy, and it's this heartfelt thing. And I lay there on the couch and had a panic attack.
Okay.
I'm just telling you all this to give you some background of what's led me to where I'm at today.
Well, and I'm hearing it, and if you were watching me live, you would see, like, that doesn't surprise me. And there it would have been neat to have an Instagram moment, and it would have been cool to like be flooded with emotions, but we are in the middle of an international health crisis that might kill us all. And so your first instinct, your body went, oh no, I can barely keep us alive, much less a child. That's not crazy. In fact, I would think it was more normal than going, all right. You know what I mean?
Right. No, for sure. And then, and I've battled with depression and anxiety since I was a teenager. Like, it's something I've dealt with. It kind of ebbs and flows up and down. I just manage it. And so over the last few years, when she said I was pregnant, I put all my feelings aside and was like, well, okay, regardless of how I feel for the marriage, like, I want to give my daughter a complete family, a household. I want to be a good dad, and I want to be present. So that's what I've been trying to do. So we moved out of our apartment, got into a house, and like now, fast forward a long time, I'm in a lot of debt. I work a hard job. I feel like if 18-year-old me was looking at 27-year-old me, he'd be so disappointed. And
well, your 18-year-old you was an idiot.
I know. I'm sure he is. Right. Yeah, he was
18-year-old me bathed on a weekly schedule, followed Pantera around, and was like, you know what I mean? Like, 18-year-old me was insane. I hope 18-year-old me doesn't like me. That tells me I've grown up some.
Sure.
Like, that's a bad comparison.
That's fair. And I'll admit, I was a dumb 18-year-old like everybody else.
Yes.
My dilemma right now is that I feel like I have this life that so many people really would want, and I'm so selfish that I can't find a way to just be content and happy in it. That's just what I'm dealing with.
Okay. You've talked about wanting to take care of your wife. You talked about wanting to take care of your kid. What happened to Trent that Trent thinks Trent sucks? Why do you think so little of Trent that Trent is worth having a peaceful life? Which, by the way, is the greatest gift you can give your kid, is not a 5-bedroom house, but maybe a 2-bedroom apartment where there's peace, because that's what y'all can afford right now. Or
Right.
maybe some significant, serious marriage counseling, and your wife's got a role to play in this too, where y'all create a house that's full of warmth and laughter as much as possible in this crazy world, as opposed to, I'm going to make sure there's this Suburban and this thing and this style of backpack and this kind of lunchbox, and so I'm going to live as though I'm on fire so that we have this crap. You see what I'm saying? Like, what happened to Trent? Because Trent deserves so much more than the life he's allowing himself to live.
I guess I'm still trying to find that. I feel like I've lost myself. And
I don't think you ever had it, man.
You could be right there as well.
Because here's what it sounds like you're trying to do. It sounds like you're trying to get to a particular finish line, and that finish line might be number of cars, size of house, number of kids, a number of times you have sex in a week, net worth, whatever metric you're putting up for yourself as normal, whatever that's supposed to mean. And you're trying to achieve peace. And you've heard me say this a million times on the show, the crappiest part about making $100,000 for the first time is that you go with you. You're the one that cashes that paycheck. And if you don't like yourself with 40 grand, you're not going to like yourself with 100 grand. And you're going to hate yourself with $1 million.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
And here's my
you.
Can I be ugly for a second? Like, pretty direct with you?
Please do. No, please do.
Your daughter will spend her life wondering what it is about her that is making you so electric, so unhappy. And my guess is you were put in a position to make mom and dad happy. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Don't make mom mad. If you say this, dad's going to get angry. Is that you growing up?
Yep.
Okay. And so what you did was your identity becomes rooted in what other people expect of me. My job on earth is to make sure other people fill in the blank. And that keeps you alive when you're a kid. And when you get older, you become untethered. And you start chasing, I need something to feel good. Does that make sense? So the question I'll ask you, man, like from the inside out, and don't be scared of the answer. You're not going to shock me. What do you want, man? Put aside the house, put aside the cars, put aside the what do you want?
That's honestly, John, that's the question that I've been trying to ask myself, and this is why I feel so stuck, because I feel like even if I don't want to do this, I'm not going to do this, but like even if I were to leave my family, go off and do my own thing,
you would go with you.
I'd be so miserable.
Yeah,
I'd be so miserable.
You'd go
I know
with
that.
It. That's right. So
right.
Let me ask you, I think an easier question, but a different one. Not what do you want?
Sure.
That's people will go to counseling for years to answer that question. That's a hard question to answer. What do you want your house to feel like when you get home every day?
I just want it to feel like a home. I just want to get home.
What does that mean? Because here's I'll tell you my house. I'll give you some words. When I walk in the door, you know what I just want to feel? I want to feel like my wife likes me. I just want to feel like she's happy that I'm there. And I my kids are kids, right? So I'm not going to outsource my feelings to them, but I want there to be a sense of my daughter running at me with a sword and a pillow, trying to stab me with her imaginary thing, and my son sitting there working on his novel like a good little nerd. Like I want it to feel like that. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing great.
Yeah.
But when I did that math, I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff that I had taken loans out on. Because my wife didn't like me when I was stressed out all the time. And I was stressed out when I owed a bunch of people money all the time. See what I'm
That
saying?
makes a bunch of sense.
So
Yeah,
when you
totally.
walk into your house, what do you want it to feel like?
I guess I want that. I want it to feel light. I want that weight of life to just. I want the world to be outside, and when I walk in, I want that to not be in the world anymore. I want the weight of everything to just be lifted off. You talk about your kids, and I don't want to make it sound like I don't like my family. When my daughter
I don't hear that at all,
gives me a
man.
hug and okay.
I hear that you don't like Trent. I hear that you love your daughter beyond the end of time, and I actually think you love your wife beyond the end of time. You don't like that they have anchored themselves to you, a guy that you don't like. And you thought all of this was supposed to feel differently.
Yeah, that's probably pretty fair.
So here's the path you got forward, okay? Path number one is you keep running. And you keep achieving and you keep hustling, you keep grinding out at work, and you're going to have a customer come in one day, and she's beautiful and hilarious. And she's going to make you laugh, and you're going to think about her, and she's like, that happens to all of us, right? There's beautiful, hilarious people everywhere. And then she's going to come back the next month, and then she's going to say, all right, I'll be back in 2 weeks for my next order, and you're going to be waiting for her the next time. And then you're going to get her number, and then it all goes sideways that way, okay? That's number one. Okay. If that hasn't already happened, some version of that, it's coming. My guess is it's probably shown up before. The second one is you get a babysitter for your kid, and you take your wife out, and you say, the life I'm creating for us is making me insane. And I love you more than life itself. And I've tried to show you I love you with all of this stuff. And I need to do something different. Okay?
Okay.
I also think you need to call. I'm going to stay on the line. I'm going to send you 3 months of free counseling with my buddies at BetterHelp. I think you need to call and you need to ask them. Like when you talk to the counselor, what are you working on today? I don't like me. And my daughter deserves a dad who loves himself enough to take care of himself, enough to be an anchor. My wife deserves a husband who's not trying to use her to make himself feel better. And I want y'all to work through that. Is that fair?
Totally fair. Totally fair.
In this Building a Non-Anxious Life book I just put out, there's a chapter in there called Choose Freedom. And it's not like eagles in like American flag underwear. That's not what I mean. It's taking a true inventory of who is telling you what you need to be doing every second of every day. Where are those shoulds coming from or have do's coming from? Some of them come from a bank saying you have to go to work tomorrow at this crappy job because you owe me, or a car dealership or a clothing credit card or whatever. Sometimes it's in-laws telling you when you're going to do Christmas and how you're going to do whatever. And my granddaughter's not going to go to that school. So and you go on and on and on down the list. And so I think an important exercise for you, I'm going to send you a free copy of the book too, but I want you to go through that exercise. Where is this voice coming from? Who's the person telling me all these things that I should be doing this and I should feel like this? Because what you're going to find is it's not you. It's your mom, it's your dad, it's your coach, it's some well-meaning but kind of moronic pastor from your childhood. It's whoever, man. It's people you work with. And at some point, you have to take ownership back of those voices. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. And I'll probably do that exercise today.
Okay. I would love that. And, dude, I'd love to have you back on with your wife sometime. You think she'd be willing to do that?
Yeah, I think she would be. I didn't tell her I was calling you today. I was kind of embarrassed, but I will tell her that I called and talk to her about this for sure. I think she would love to come on.
All right, so just a peek behind the curtain, okay? This morning, I have a close friend who's in a really tough situation with one of his kids. One of his kids is sick. And one of the most extraordinary, beautiful little kids I've ever had the honor to meet. And he called me and asked me a question, and I thought I knew the answer, but just to make sure, I called one of my friends, and I've had her on the show, Lynn Jennings, Dr. Jennings, back there in Texas, who's an expert with working with kids. And she said, in her own wonderful way, with all due respect, John, you're way off on this one. And here's this, and here's this, and here's why. And she gave me the developmental research because that's how nerds talk to each other. But here's the thing. I was wrong. And here's what I got the opportunity to be. A little less wrong. Right? There's no shame or embarrassment. I didn't know. Okay. So similarly, I want you to free yourself, man, from the shame and embarrassment of, all right, I'm 4 years in. I have a kid that was a surprise. And I've got a wife that we're still figuring out, how we even like each other. Okay, those are skills I don't have. You've never been married for 4 years with a kid. This is all new. Cut yourself some slack, man. No shame here. What you're doing is you're finding out answers. And that's going to help you be a better husband, a better dad. And quite honestly, it's going to help you make peace with Trent. Because I think Trent is a pretty good guy. I think if you asked the people in your life, or if I did, what do you think about Trent? They'd probably tell me good stuff. I think there's one person who doesn't like Trent, and that's you. Man, you can make all the money in the world, and you can get your kid all the nice things, make sure your wife is clothed in rubies and whatever. But if you don't like you, man, it's all for naught. It's all for naught.